Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is the first episode of 2014 of Prehistoric Facts. So Happy New Year to you guys, and hopefully you guys had a good holidays. And let's get on starting answering these questions, shall we? All right, this first question comes from John from South Soy City, in Nebraska, and and this is actually from a comment on this question comes from the comment section on one of my on my Facebook fan page here. He actually asks here, most paleontologists now believe that the defensive capabilities of the horns and frill are strictly visual. Do you? Well, I've actually looked at ceratopsian skulls for majority of my studying time when I actually read books and that kind of stuff. We see the first idea of the horns and frill of ceratopsians back in the day when ceratopsians were discovered. They actually thought that they were for defense because they were actually defense to protect the neck, and so that predators couldn't actually get a good bite to the neck area unless if the ceratopsian was actually looking down, because then that way it would expose the neck and it would actually cause a much more fatal injury. But when we actually look at most recent years, is that we actually start to see changes into how these horns and frills actually probably behaved with the ceratopsians. The ceratopsians probably did use them for display most of the time, because that's probably what they were going to be used for. Because if you look at some of the ceratopsian skulls, like Chasmosaurus, Styracosaurus, and also you look at Torosaurus, Pentaceratops, all these ceratopsians that actually have holes on their frills, which are not really going to be good for defense, because those are usually going to be covered with skin, and that skin would actually be used to actually show patterns on the frill, and actually whenever it's mating season, they can actually flush blood to the frills and actually create a really creative color on their frills, and that would actually make it a really good display to show off to the females, and say, the males would actually show off to the females, saying that I'm a healthy male and I'm at age, and I like to make the new generation with you, and but also males would actually probably when they're fighting against each other, they would actually show off their frills first, because they need to show I'm bigger, I'm tougher, and also I am actually a much stronger male than you are. And if that doesn't work, then they would actually have to do the intimidation then they would actually have to do the physical intimidation part, which is actually they would wrestle each other with their heads, and they would actually just kind of actually go to say an arm wrestling match, but with their heads, so it would actually be like that. But some ceratopsian skulls do actually have quite a bit of strength on them, so they would actually they would have be able to create impact with those skulls, and that's pretty much what I think they could actually be used for. But I mean, they do play in a role of defense in some ways, just to show off predators, say that I'm bigger, that kind of way. Don't mess with me, I'm bigger than you think. But also sometimes that doesn't work, because then the predator would actually think that this is just a show, this is just a trick, just to confuse us. So we got to go after this thing one way or the other. Either I actually have to take out by myself, or otherwise I need a little help. I mean, when you actually look at the Lycurtaceous of the ceratopsians, there's tyrannosaurs, there's dromaeosaurs that actually do hunt these ceratopsians down, and I think the ceratopsian that actually would actually have the strongest skull is Triceratops. Triceratops has a much stronger frill, and also it actually has stronger horns than the other ceratopsians. Because you see, when you actually look at Triceratops, the frill is very thick, and the reason why it's thick, because Tyrannosaurus rex was around, and Tyrannosaurus rex it has the ability to bite through that frill if it had to, but we see bite marks on frills of Triceratops specimens that show that Tyrannosaurus Rex did try to hunt Triceratops on occasion, and that would actually be conclusive proof that Tyrannosaurus Rex is a hunter, not a scavenger. If you actually believe that Tyrannosaurus Rex is more of a hunter than a scavenger, but which I believe it is more of a hunter than a scavenger. But I would say that the ceratopsian frills and horns are number one use is actually for display, and then the secondary way is defense. But most frills are not going to be as strong as like Triceratops. Triceratops is pretty much like the diamond in the rough of the ceratopsians, and I would say that Triceratops would actually come down as like the most advanced ceratopsian that has ever existed during that time. Hopefully that answers your question. Next, we actually got 3 questions from Addery from England. It says, okay, his first question is, the hybrid of cave bear and short-faced bear, how dangerous would it be? Well, if you actually try to take, because the cave bear and the short-faced bear are kind of close relatives, but the cave bear of Europe is actually more herbivorous than the short-faced bear, because the short-faced bear is a very carnivorous bear. But if we actually had to, if it actually did happen, I mean, these 2 animals actually lived in separate places. One lived in Europe and one lived in North America. But let's say if it did happen, I would say it would actually be a very, very dangerous kind of bear. I mean, it would actually be like say if you took a polar bear and you actually have it mate with a Alaskan brown bear, you would actually see that both bears are very carnivorous, but also the brown bear actually does have a tendency to actually eat plant material. But we actually would see that probably it would have bigger claws, it would actually have bigger teeth. For intelligence, it actually is a bit of a mystery. We wouldn't know how intelligent hybrids would actually get, but if this ever happened, I would probably say it would be very, very dangerous. Second question's cheetah speed versus speed of a greyhound. Cheetah is actually it's way too fast. Cheetahs actually can actually run up to 70 miles per hour in a straight line, and I mean that's an unbelievable achievement for a mammal, and the cheetah is the fastest mammal on land right now. And but the greyhounds probably only run like 40 miles per hour, so they wouldn't actually be as fast as cheetahs. So if you actually had like a foot race between a cheetah and a greyhound, cheetah would actually just totally outsprint the greyhound. And next question, hybrid of Deinosuchus and Sarcosuchus, how dangerous would that be? Well, since these 2 crocodilians lived in 2 different times, lived millions of years apart, and they actually live in different continents. Sarcosuchus is from Africa, and Deinosuchus is from North America. If we actually try to combine those 2, but you see, crocodilians rarely mate with a different species of crocodilian. I mean, if we actually try to take American alligator and American crocodile, would they ever met each other and probably mated with each other? Well, they do have similarities, but it's just going to be that probably they wouldn't even do it, because you see, because you see, if it's a male crocodile trying to mate with a female alligator, then it would actually be very intimidating for the female to actually try to go up a female alligator to actually mate with a crocodile. So it would actually be very, very hard for them to actually try to mate with each other. And also, they would be so aggressive towards each other, though, too. Because, I mean, if you actually try to take a Deinosuchus and a Sarcosuchus, they would probably not like each other for the most part. I mean, they would actually just fight to the death. But I think Sarcosuchus would actually, since it has a stronger skull, or actually, excuse me for that, Deinosuchus has a stronger skull, Sarcosuchus has an elongated skull. I would say that because since that crocodilians do smack each other, do smack their snouts against each other for territorial disputes. I would, because since that Sarcosuchus probably doesn't have that much of a strong built for that skull, even though it could probably deliver a powerful bite from the back of the jaws. But I would say that Deinosuchus would actually have an advantage over Sarcosuchus, just because of its way that it can actually, because it has a stronger skull and it can probably break the snout of Sarcosuchus. But if they ever did mate with each other, I would say it would actually be it would be a weird looking crocodilian. It would actually probably have like the scoots of Deinosuchus, but probably have the mass of Sarcosuchus, and so it would actually be very interesting. But I think the teeth would actually be different. I think the teeth would probably be more designed to catch large prey, like dinosaurs and pretty much dinosaurs. But I wouldn't say they would go as far as like the sauropods, but I would say they would actually mainly go after probably like the duck-billed dinosaurs. And possibly if they ever catch the predatory dinosaur like a tyrannosaur, I mean, all bets are off. I mean, you can actually just say the crocodilians actually would probably, a large crocodilian like Deinosuchus or Sarcosuchus would take down a tyrannosaur very easily. Alright, that's it for now, and next week's episode would actually be a special episode, so I will post the link of dinosaur names and prehistoric mammal names that you would actually want me to talk about. I would like to do one species, because I did actually have to do two species of dinosaurs at once in two episodes, so I would like to do one species, so hopefully that would actually give me a little bit more time to look up the information, and that way I can actually give you a really good detailed description of what those kinds of animals would have been like. But also, if you still got a question, if you still have questions about dinosaurs or other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinocris71@gmail.com. Also, you can actually post the comments on you can post your questions on the comments section of my Facebook fan page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris, like the Facebook page, and you can actually send in your questions on the comment page. I actually make it a little bit easier for you guys instead of actually just writing on the wall of the page, so it would actually be a lot easier for you guys. And also, you can follow me on Twitter at CSGrall, which is @ CSGRALL, and I actually do post some cool stuff on Twitter, so hopefully you guys can follow me on Twitter, and that way I can actually can communicate with you guys a lot better. And also, make sure to take care of the people around you, and also for you younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. Those are the best motivation that you can have for a good education, and it is very important to have a good education in your life, so that way you can have a good job in the future. And also just to let this out, since I am a big NFL fan, I am actually going to be watching the divisional playoffs this weekend. So hopefully, whatever teams comes out and goes to the conference championship games, hopefully everything can go well for you guys, and hopefully one of your teams can make it to the Super Bowl. And so, rooting for any team that can actually, root for any team that actually can be in the Super Bowl. So hopefully it actually comes out all right for your team. And so, even though I do wear my Packers shirt on, but even though the Packers lost last week, but hey, I'm a Packer fan. We forget about that, and we just look forward to next season. So, but anyway, and I'll see you guys next week.